Hey, it's me, Elizabeth Power, and I want to talk to you about grounding. It's the holiday season. See, sweater shirt that says Happy Holidays, but I'm not dumb. I know the holidays aren't happy for a lot of us. And I know even if it's not the holidays, grounding is one of the hardest things to do for yourself and sometimes to help other people learn to do. So I wanted to talk to you about just some real simple basics that you can use for yourself and that you can share with others. Grounding. What is it? Well, you think about electrical stuff. Nah, that's not what we're talking about. You think about misbehavior in childhood and getting grounded by your parents, your caregivers. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about living in your body well enough or being able to step back into your body so that you can be present in the situations you're in. Now, here's the bottom line. If you're tired, if you're hungry, if you're stressed, if you're having flashbacks, if there's something that suddenly happens in your environment that you're not expecting, you may lose a little bit of your grounding. For example, I spent all day traveling and got home really late last night. And I promise you, I don't think I felt my body a whole lot today. When I finally settled in and did so, man, it hurt. My back was aching, my feet were aching. When we don't live in our bodies or when we're not aware of what's happening with them, we don't have to face the fact that maybe we should slow down a little bit. Maybe we should not travel so much. Maybe we're being, in a subtle way, very self-abusive. So, enough about that. Let's get off the judgment wagon and get back to grounding. First of all, grounding takes place in any of the five senses. It's very much a sensory thing. So in a minute, I'm going to switch over to slides and keep talking about how grounding really is a tool that comes from the senses. It's a simple premise. The senses that cue us to trigger us can also cue us to calm us. For example, let's talk about touch. Just touch. Did you know that the earth resonates at an electrical frequency that is very beneficial to the body, and it's one of the reasons that going barefoot and nice, unchemical treated, organic, plain old good grass is a cool thing to do? How many times do you put your feet in real, honest to gosh, earth, the thing from which we're all made? What about water? How many times do you put your feet in water? How many times do you play with what is it like to feel your body relative to nature? Great, we've covered earthing, soil, water, and nature. Here are a couple of other touch techniques that help you with grounding. Getting a massage, stroking velveteen, holding and checking out textured surfaces, placing your own hand on your cheek, patting yourself with pillows in bed, holding an animal, even if it's stuffed, working with clear modeling material, and pressing your palms together firmly. Try them. Taste is another one. You can ground yourself with taste really quick. Now, some people use ucky tastes to ground with. I don't think that's a good thing. I know that sometimes when I'm a little out of whack, if I go in and I make myself a bowl of a really small serving of maybe macaroni and cheese, that for me, if I add a little cayenne pepper to it, which I happen to love, that helps me ground. The sudden taste helps me ground. I know sometimes that a soothing cup of hot coffee or hot tea can help me ground. Oh yeah, hey wait, that's only two of the senses, and there's so much more to taste. I'm going to talk about taste a little bit longer. You see, there are 6 tastes, 3 of which are salt, sweet, and sour. Sweet includes fruits and grains and natural sugars and some of your vegetables, and salts like rock salt and sea salt, or sea vegetables or salted snacks like chips and nuts and pickles and popcorn. And the sour stuff is like fruit, lemon, lime, and grapefruit, or your fermented foods like yogurt, sour cream, cheese, kefir, sauerkraut, and vinegars. All these can help you ground if you use them. Yeah, I do expect you to do something with this information, like try it and use it and see what works, and expect it to work. The other 3 flavors are bitter, like spinach or kale or mustard greens, or turmeric, which is a great anti-inflammatory, grapefruit, bitter melon, which is an Asian fruit, and then there's pungent, like chili peppers, garlic, and onions, black pepper, cayenne, and ginger is great for your health. And then there are the things that are astringent, that have like a puckery taste. The skins of some fruits like pomegranates or lemons or cranberries, and some teas are all astringent. Your question ought to be, how do I keep a grounding kit handy? And my answer to you is easy. A tin for candy or mints will hold many things, including your grounding tools. Think Altoids, Bach Rescue Remedy, or a tin from one of your local craft stores, and stock it. So, hey, one of the things you might do is paint a pretty picture on the inside of that tin that you're using for your grounding toolkit. The other things you can do with sight are, first of all, turn your eyes away from upsetting images. You don't have to watch the gruesome news just because everybody else is. Put the images in that you want in your head. You probably have enough difficult ones. Balance it with some nice ones. Puppies, flowers, sunsets, the ocean, someone you love. Make use of the visual cues that allow you to turn your attention and just say to yourself, no, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at this instead. It really does make a difference, even though it takes some practice. It takes your brain a little while to believe you when you're choosing to ground different ways. I have in my little tin, I have a picture of my favorite cat, a picture of the prettiest flower in my garden, and I've got another little tiny image of someone I love a whole lot that I keep there with me, along with mints, a little bit of ginger that's dried, a ginger candy that's dried, an ammonia capsule. So you can use that tin for all the senses except fresh food. Okay, so sound is the only thing you can't keep in your little candy tin, although you might be able to keep a stick with your playlist on it or something you can plug into a computer somewhere. But changing the channel is really important. I am just so allergic to listening to people argue and yell and fuss. I learned a long time ago to change the channel. And I learned that for me, easy music, new age, light classical music were all good tools to help me soothe myself. And sometimes a lot of silence is the best thing I can do to help myself get regrounded. Silence isn't bad. It's actually good to help the brain heal. However, be aware of this. Some people find themselves soothed by things like heavy metal, which just irritates me no end. So one person's soothing may be another person's stress. Now, the last sense that we're going to talk about is smell. You want to use your nose, believe me. I carry a small bottle of essential oil with me. I mean, a little bitty teeny weeny one that's less than an inch tall. And in it has orange oil because I find that that helps me snap to very quickly. I also carry an ammonia inhalant or an ammonia smelling salts capsule because if I'm really struggling with getting grounded, that helps a lot. Now, you want to use for your scent stuff, you want to use strong, pleasant scents. And I really encourage you to only use natural organic essential oils because they're less likely to cause allergies, or if you're around somebody who has asthma that's triggered by odors, less likely to trigger someone else to have asthma. And let's face it, we all want to have a good life for ourselves, and we should also want that for each other. So scent is really powerful. Roses can bring are something that helps people remember pleasant things. Lily of the Valley is another pleasant one. Lemon is a good strong one. Peppermint's a good strong one. Orange is a good strong one. Rosemary is a good strong one. You want to find the oil that works for you, and you probably will have testers at your local organic or natural foods market that will let you test, but don't do them all at once, to find out which oil might be most helpful for you to have on hand when you find yourself kind of feeling fuzzy around the edges. And hey, guess what? Talking about how do you know when you're not grounded is what's next. But all of these things, and even the others I'm going to tell you about, are not so helpful if you're not paying attention. And that's the first piece of grounding, is noticing that you're not. So how do you know if you're not grounded? I'm going to flip over to PowerPoint here and talk to you about some ways that you can see that you're not grounded. All right, so how do you know when you're not grounded? For me, I think about all these things. Touch. Can I feel the bottom of my feet inside my shoes? Are my feet on the floor? Can I tell that? Can I feel my hands, my head, my mouth? Do the edges of me feel sharp or fuzzy or solid? Has the taste in my mouth changed? Can I taste my mouth? Is there an emotion associated with the taste in my mouth? These are some very sensory things I ask. If all of a sudden I'm aware that I'm just not feeling quite with it somehow, maybe a little misaligned with myself. And this really does help a lot. So let me go on and cover some others for you right quick. And here are the other three: sight, sound, and smell. For sight, sometimes if I'm really ungrounded, my vision gets really wide, or it might narrow in very closely, or sometimes it might almost swirl like I'm going to faint. In terms of sound, sometimes things get really loud and sometimes things get really quiet. Voices sound either really far away or just way too close up in me, or sometimes things get distorted. Smell is the final one. If I can't smell anything, I wonder what's going on. And if everything smells like one thing all the time, I wonder what's going on. So just paying attention to all of these things lets me know that I'm not grounded. By the way, of all the things I didn't talk about, texture is the one I'd like to mention last. Be sure to think about how texture can help you as you work on staying more grounded. It's all about having choices. If you can stay grounded, you've got the choice to unground and vice versa. Take care, keep grounding, enjoy life. Bye.